So we are on page 22 of our notes.
She likes using her tablets. She likes using her
Actually, I didn't take it.
Whoa. We are shifting gears. Moses, be quiet. Moses, we need to do our note sheet, page 22. We are going to solve a problem like this. Now, I have given you an assignment for tonight on Schoology. That assignment's due on Monday. So if you don't have time to do it tonight, that's absolutely fine, but it will be done by Monday. It will be problems like this. Solve this inequality. We've done these already this year. This is incredibly easy. We draw a number line. We put 2 dots on the number line. 2 dots because there are 2 parentheses. The dots are open because this does not have an or equal to, right? Any guesses where those 2 dots are looking at your parentheses? -2, +3. You are not surprised by that because aren't we used to using the opposite? When it says x plus 2, aren't we used to using -2? Yes, we are used to. Now, what does less than 0 mean, you guys? Less than 0. If we're less than 0, what kind of a number are we? Negative. So you need to find places on the number line where when you multiply these together, you get a negative answer. All right? So let's pick a number here like -3. If I put -3 into my parentheses, I don't even care what number I get, but that would be negative, right? If I put in -3, and that would also be negative. So what happens when I multiply those 2 negatives together? Is that what I wanted? No. So that doesn't work. That's bad. That doesn't work. Now let's pick a number in here. How about 0? If I put 0 in this parentheses, it's positive. But if I put 0 in that parentheses, it's negative. When I multiply those together, do I get what I want? Yes. So this is good. I'm going to color that in. That's good. I want that section. Now I'm going to pick a number over here. Like 4. What happens to these parentheses when I put in 4? The first one is positive, and the second one is positive. When I multiply a positive times a positive, I do not get negative, right? So therefore, what is the answer to the question? The only part of the number line that worked was the part between -2 and 3. The numbers between -2 and 3. Yes?
Would it either be the middle or the outside ones?
It will be as long as there is nothing strange in the problem. So when I look at the next one, Jamal, there's something strange in the next problem. Do you see what it is?
The square.
Yeah. So if there is no square, listen to what Jamal said. He said, I got a time saver for you. I can save you some time. If there's nothing odd about the factors, no squares or, I don't know what else, radicals or anything weird going on, then yes, it will either be in the middle here or it'll be the ends. So you wouldn't necessarily have to check every space. You could just know, since this is a regular problem. But for the next one, Jamal, you are going to have to check every space because there is a square that's going to mess everything up.
Okay.
Okay? So here we go. We're just going to do a couple more, and then we're going to do a practice problem for the quiz and then take the quiz. All right? So here we go. Where are my dots going to go? There's only 2 of them because there's only 2 parentheses.
-2.
-2, +3. And they're open again, aren't they? I copied it right? Yeah, they're open again. What does less than 0 mean? Negative. So keep that in mind. You are looking for negative answers. All right, so let's put in -3. -3, I'm putting in a number right here. Does it have to be -3? No, you can put in -10 or -100, anything you want that's out here. But if I put in -3, that parentheses would be negative, right? What about this one? Be careful. If you put in -3, this would be negative, but you're squaring it. So that would be positive. What happens when you multiply your negative times your positive? Oh, that works. That's good. That's what I wanted. I wanted negative. All right, let's put our 0 in. When I put in 0, what happens to this parentheses? Positive. What happens to this guy? Positive. The parentheses would be negative, but you're squaring it, so it's going to be positive. Does that work for me? No. No. Positive times positive is not negative. So that doesn't work. How about 5? What would 5 do to these parentheses? Positive, positive again? Does that work? So this time, the answer to the question is just x is less than -2. Now, where we'll pick up tomorrow is with question number 4. Look at number 4. What do you think we're going to have to do first? Factor it first, and then proceed just like this. But we'll pick up there tomorrow. What I want to do now is one practice problem for our quiz, and then give you the quiz. So, the practice problem, I'll just pull it out of your homework if that's okay. Does anybody remember a homework 1 that was an issue for you?
Number 17.
All right, I'm going to do number 17. Here we go. Number 17, here's the problem. Hey, people, I'm trying to give you help here by doing a practice problem before the quiz, but if you're just going to talk, I'm just going to have the quiz, okay? This I took out of the book. Now, the one thing I did before I did it as I wrote it down, was this denominator, I factored it. Because what did I tell you to do every time? Factor your denominators. So I did. I factored this denominator. It didn't look like this in the book. I took an X out. Now, what do I do at this point? Once my denominators are factored, what do I do? I figure out what I'm going to multiply by. In order to make everything cancel, I'm going to need to multiply by an x and an x plus 2. I need to multiply by an x and an x plus 2. Now kids, you cannot multiply some terms by one thing and other terms by another thing. You must multiply every single term by x plus 2. Different things will cancel, leaving me here in the beginning with 3x, and here with just 6, and here with 3 minus x times x plus 2. Now what am I going to do with that mess? Foil? So collecting like terms. Now, that's a quadratic, x squared. I want to get set equal to 0. So I'm going to add x squared, because I like to have positive. I'm gonna subtract x and subtract 6. So I added x squared, subtracted x, subtracted 6. What do I do with that? I can factor it or use the quadratic formula. You can always use the quadratic formula. It does factor pretty easily. So I get 0 and -2. Jennifer? I have to subtract this x.
The -2.
Okay, Morin's extraneous root antenna are going up. Beep, 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 beep. Because what happens if you put -2 into your denominator? But kids, what happens if you put 0 into your denominator? Ay, ay, ay. No solution to this problem. Both of the answers turned out to be extraneous. All right, it's quiz time. When you are finished with the quiz, you are to begin your homework or begin something.
I don't know how to factor x squared with I need to factor
All right.
Don't owe me.
This person has to move.
Wait, what is it?
Yes, I was talking to you, even though you did nothing. He's over here. Sorry, that's recording.
Jack, you're moving. Did everybody get a paper? Come on, we're taking a quiz. Why are you talking to Zach? remember, when you're done, I want you either starting in on your homework or working on something else.